All right, we're live and welcome to the How to Lose Weight and Boost Brain Function webinar. And we're coming to you live on LinkedIn and many other platforms. But first of all, I'm going to introduce Nicole. So welcome, Nicole. And well, not really welcome. Thanks for coming along with me and help to explain people how to lose weight and get rid of that brain fog.
Yeah, it's a great example of typically when I'm working with people as an NDIS registered provider, I'm working with people with mental health issues and brain injury and neurodiversity and so forth. But this is a great example of how anyone can benefit from a bit of brain care when it comes to weight and boosting your brain. Really is a great sort of segue. And I'm going to start off the presentation today, but Dr. Scott's going to follow up. But Dr. Scott has generously donated some yummy, healthy chocky bars, which only have 3.5% carbs in them. So if you want to win those yummy chocky bars, then pop your name in the comments below and let us know, because at the end of the presentation, Dr. Scott's going to draw the winner. Isn't that right?
Yep, but the only way you can win is you've got to enter. And the only way to enter is you've got to put your name. Just write yes in the comments even. Just put something in the comments so then we know that you're watching and that you want to win these chocky bars. They're worth $67. You get 20 bars. So, yeah, please put your name or put any sort of comment in the comments below. And, yeah, we'll put you into the draw. We'll just remind you a bit later too. So Go ahead, please, Nicole.
Perfect. Yeah. So I'm Nicole from Get Brain Fit. I am a brain optimization consultant and I help people change their brains. As I said, I'm a registered NDIS provider, but I also work with corporate people who want to improve their productivity. In fact, I did a talk today on that subject, increasing productivity through your brain. But today is all about how to lose weight and boost your brain. So we've got some good and bad news, and Dr. Scott's going to tell us about the good and bad fats later. But right now, we're going to look at what obesity and excess weight can actually do to the brain. So obesity negatively impacts the hippocampus, so the region responsible for memory and learning. Excess fat can actually decrease neurogenesis, the brain's ability to create new neurons, and that in turn can impair memory formation and recall. Obesity is also linked to increased risk of depression and anxiety. Now, the chronic inflammation and hormonal imbalances associated with being overweight can also affect your neurotransmitters, leading to some mood disorders. And don't we all want to be happier? So yeah, losing weight can significantly improve brain health. As you shed those excess pounds, you actually reduce the inflammation in your body and enhance your neurogenesis and improve overall cognitive function. So, this can lead to better mental clarity, sharper memory, and overall really boost your mood, energy levels, and reduce your risk of future Alzheimer's disease, because inflammation actually shrinks the brain. And we'll talk a little bit more about that later. So tonight is really about looking at that link between brain health and losing weight. We're going to look at boosting your brain in this presentation and getting to know your brain. So learn, how personalized brain health insights can actually change your brain. Really understand that connection between weight loss and your brain. So here we go. So the brain-weight connection. There's a little hormone called leptin, and it actually is produced by fat cells and plays a really crucial role in regulating energy balance by inhibiting your hunger. So it's your satiety indicator. It helps to tell your hypothalamus in your brain to stop eating, okay, because you're full enough. So in overweight or obese individuals, the brain can actually become less sensitive to leptin, and a condition called leptin resistance can occur. And that means that even though you've got high levels of leptin in your body, the brain doesn't actually receive the signal to stop eating, leading to more overeating and further weight gain. Now, the good news is that that can be reversed. So adopting a healthier lifestyle, of course, regular exercise, a balanced diet and whole foods, getting your daily dose of vitamin D because that helps to activate the leptin, and adequate sleep, you can actually improve that leptin sensitivity. That not only aids weight loss, but it also helps your brain function more efficiently. Your morning booster. What's your morning booster, Dr. Scott?
My morning booster. So, well, when it comes to nutrition, I actually have the muscle multiplier. So, and that's what it does. It multiplies muscle by neutral way. So it has 9 of the essential amino acids, and that's why I take it.
That sounds like a good choice, but for many people, their morning booster is coffee. Now, what does coffee do to the brain? A study in the UK actually found that people who drink 6 or more cups a day had 53% higher chance of getting dementia than those people that drank 2 cups or less a day. So what caffeine actually does is it causes temporary vasoconstriction, which is narrowing of the blood vessels. And while that effect is short-lived, in excessive amounts, caffeine might actually reduce cerebral blood flow. And of course, that's going to impair delivery of oxygen. The brain uses 20 to 30% of oxygen. It's a hungry organ. And it also, that vasoconstriction is going to restrict the nutrients that you're getting to your brain. So chronic impairment of blood flow could potentially contribute to long-term damage and shrinkage of brain tissue. Now, the number one indicator of Alzheimer's disease is brain shrinkage. The sugar brain. Now, some of you may have heard me talk about sugar brain before, but it is worth mentioning because sugar does shrink the brain. Now, this point what couldn't have been any more clearly told than by a lady I met after doing a keynote talk one day, and I was talking about how sugar shrinks the brain. And she came up to me after this talk and she said, Nicole, you are so right. Sugar really does shrink the brain. And she told me about how she had a brain tumor a few years earlier. Now, the brain tumor wasn't life-threatening, but it was life-destroying. She had chronic headaches, brain fog. It was really inhibiting her life. And so the neurosurgeons decided to remove the tumor. However, the tumor was in an area of her brain that was quite difficult to access. So she told me that on the morning of the surgery, the surgeon actually gave her a high sugar solution to drink for the purpose of shrinking her brain so they could access the tumor more easily during surgery. And it worked. Sugar shrinks the brain. So, yeah, have a think about that one.
So when you say sugar, you mean carbohydrates, especially simple carbohydrates, yeah?
Processed sugars mainly, but you can eat too much of anything, Dr. Scott, and you can drink too much water. We know water's good for you, but drinking too much water can also kill you.
Yeah,
so
that's right. They call it drowning.
It's about moderation. So in regard to processed sugar, as much as you can eliminate as possible is great. Things like honey are okay. They're still not great, but they're better than sugar. Things like equal or sucralose, stay away from because they also disrupt blood flow to the brain and have been linked to cancer and all sorts of things. So what I use is a product called stevia. Stevia and monk fruit extract are the only 2 sources I'm aware of sugar substitutes that aren't harmful. So, yeah, try a bit of stevia.
What were those 2 again? The
stevia and monk fruit extract.
Oh, yeah.
Stevia you can buy in the supermarket. It's around where the equal and other sugar substitutes are. But as I said, it's a natural one, not harmful. Now, nutrition for brain health. So most people don't get enough omega-3 from food, and that's typically because of our modern dietary patterns, limited sources of EPA and DHA, environmental matters, and the widespread use of omega-6 rich oils. And Dr. Scott's going to talk more about that later. But to really ensure you're getting adequate omega-3 intake, it's really important to consciously include more fatty fish or consider a high-quality omega-3 supplement, because not all omega-3s are equal. I know for myself, I actually started I really, really wanted a Australian omega-3, but when I did my research, I couldn't find one that had sufficient EPA and DHA in it. So I went overseas and started getting them there. And then I did an omega-3 balance test, which showed that despite taking this expensive omega-3, I was still 98% out of balance with my omegas. And that shocked me. So I started using Zinzino omega-3, and now I'm in balance. So if you want any more information about that, please let me know. But I'm not here to sell you omega-3 today. It's just a very relevant point that not all omega-3s are created equal.
I use it too. I use it too, Nicole.
You do use it too, Dr. Scott? Yep. Great. Yep. It's a fantastic.
Because of that reason. Because you want your omega-3s to omega-6 ratio close to 1-to-1. But unfortunately, with our diet, it doesn't even come close.
No, most people are like 17-to-1 or worse.
Yeah.
Shocking. All right. And of course, exercise is great for the brain. Exercise helps with neurogenesis, getting more oxygen to the brain, creating more brain cells. So there's a bit of a graph there you can see of exercise that is sort of actually proven to enhance cognitive function. Okay, aerobic exercise obviously best, but any exercise is good. If you've got physical ailments and so forth that sort of limits your ability to do aerobic exercise, things like Tai Chi and yoga and coordination balance exercises are all still great for the brain. Stress management. Now, managing stress actually makes it less likely that you're going to reach for that sugary food, because when we're stressed, we tend to look more easily for that serotonin hit, and that's the sugar. We just spoke about sugar. So managing stress is really important. What happens when our body is stressed is we start to make cortisol. Cortisol causes inflammation, and chronic long-term stress can lead to brain shrinkage. So, as I said earlier, brain shrinkage is the number one indicator of Alzheimer's disease. Now, when we get over the age of 40, our brain actually starts to shrink by an average of 5% a decade. That's its typical anatomical process. But it doesn't have to be. If we're looking after our brain, if we can grow our brain at any age too, okay, if we're giving it the right care. Let's see. Boost your brain power. So there's a little summary of, getting your regular exercise, practicing mindfulness that helps with stress, learning new skills, socializing actively, and prioritizing sleep. Sleep's really important. At least 7 hours of sleep per night is necessary, because our brain actually goes through a rinse cycle at night to get rid of the beta amyloid plaques and tau proteins in our brain that can build up, and that can also contribute to Alzheimer's disease. So if you've got sleep apnea, that puts you at higher risk. So it's so important to get that quality sleep. Get to know your brain. Now, as I mentioned earlier, as a registered NDIS provider, I typically work with participants who are experiencing mental health, ADHD, brain injury issues. However, working with people in the corporate space to improve their memory, mood, productivity, grit, by getting brain fit, it's a really interesting process, because what we do is we look at the brain first. How many times have you been, well, some of you may have been to a psychologist or a psychiatrist, Have they actually ever looked at your brain system? I doubt it. That's what I do. So think of your brain as like an engine in your car, just like a car engine. Your brain powers everything you do. Your thinking, your feeling, deciding, remembering, decision making. Yeah, it's all part comes from the brain. Now imagine driving that car for years without ever popping the hood to check the oil, to look at the car, at the air in your tires, all that sort of thing. Eventually, the engine's going to start to sputter, and by the time you sort of realize something wrong, the damage might already be extensive and costly to repair. Getting to know your brain is just that preventative, that proactive car owner who regularly checks the engine, changes the oil, and listens for those unusual sounds. That's what we're doing when we're checking your brain in the brain optimization assessment. So by understanding how your brain works and recognizing its needs, you can actually tune it up a bit before those small issues turn into big problems. So regular maintenance is like brain healthy habits, mental exercises, stress management, ensuring that your brain runs smoothly and helping you maintain that cognitive function for longer. Just like a well-maintained car lasts longer. It's going to perform better, just like your brain. Now, did you know that there are 16 different brain types? There's 7 different types of ADHD and multiple types of anxiety and depression. So that's what I'm identifying in the brain optimization assessment. I take people through a questionnaire to identify which areas of their brain are struggling, identify which of the 16 brain types they are. If they've got ADHD, identifying which type, and then I design a brain optimization program to strengthen those areas of weakness. That's my core work there. So reset your brain for weight loss success. Understanding the habits that have previously derailed your weight loss is really crucial to get those long-lasting impact. Often the habits are so deeply ingrained in our neural pathways, and it makes it challenging to break free. Like, how many people have bought an exercise program, a gym program, and 6 months later it's like, what gym was it? Well, you start your own exercise program, and it's like, for the first couple of weeks you're gung-ho and you're really regular, and then you miss a day, and then another day. Yeah, those habits that we have been used to doing can really hold us back. But with the right approach, you can actually reset your brain. So one of the ways that you can do that is implementation intentions. These are really powerful tools for habit change. So setting a clear, actionable plan that actually ties your specific behavior to cues. For example, so you're looking at the things that usually derail you, like having a snack late at night, for example. So an implementation intention would be, if I feel the urge to snack at night, then I will drink a glass of water instead. Okay, so you're actually developing a plan for the things that tempt you. And after doing that, you're actually creating a mental link that makes it easier to stick to that healthy choice. Another easy way to change habits is actually through your subconscious mind. So hypnotherapy can rewire your brain by addressing the subconscious beliefs and patterns that fuel those unhealthy habits. And through guided sessions, you can actually reinforce positive behaviors, reduce cravings, and build a mindset focused on long-term success. And that's what I do. I'm a master hypnotherapist. I love hypnotherapy. It's such a great way to create that habit change. And in participants or people who have gone through trauma, it's a really good way to also safely and unconfrontationally address the issues by looking at the barriers without having to go into the past. Through hypnotherapy, you don't have to go into the deep, dark past of trauma. You're actually dealing with blockages here and now. So combining these strategies can really effectively reset your brain and create a solid foundation for both weight loss and overall brain health. All right. So if you have any questions about anything I've talked about today, I would love to talk to you. I've got my link there, free chat link. If you've got it, or you know someone that could benefit from some brain change services, there's my website up there too. Check it out and see what services I offer. But I also keep in mind too that I actually, because there are 16 different brain types and 7 different types of ADHD and all the rest of it, each program that I do with someone is built on their unique brain. I customize all my programs for their unique brain. Okay, so I would love now to hand over to Dr. Scott to take us through the good and bad fats. And don't forget those yummy chocky bars. Have you put some comments in there yet?
Yeah, so I just want to mention Roger Buss. Thanks very much, brother, for joining us. And also Des Trindle, he's joined us as well. So thank you very much, guys. But we've only got 3 people in the draw. So if you want to be in the draw, you're going to have to comment below. Just put a yes or a no or whatever. No worries. Thanks, Roger. So yeah, anyone who's watching, please just comment below and then we'll put you into the draw. We've only got 3 people, so you got a better chance if you go in the draw. It looks like Roger's got probably the best chance at the moment. So yeah, so as I said, yeah, please put your comments below. We've tagged a fair few people so far. So if you're watching, yeah, please do that, and then you can go into the draw to win the box of chockies. And best of luck with that. So I'll just go to my slides. So as you can see, how to lose weight and boost brain function. So I'm going to talk about good and bad fats, olive oil and canola oil, and trans fats. So about me. So I'm Dr. Scott. So for over the last 20 years, I've acquired a certificate in training and assessment, diploma in massage. I've got a degree in acupuncture and a master's degree in Chinese herbal medicine. Now, it was the master's degree that actually helped me to learn a lot about nutrition. Just think about it. Herbs are what we eat. So parsley is a herb. Rosemary is a herb. Pine nuts are a herb. There's I could keep going on. Turmeric, it's a herb as well. So there's heaps of them. So we're talking about the brain. Well, did you know that 60% of your brain and your nervous system is actually fat? And there are good and bad fats. Okay. So do you agree that fat is an important macronutrient for our brain? I mean, it's 60% fat. For me, it's a no-brainer. Pardon the pun. So when I say macronutrient, I'm talking about fats, carbs, and proteins. That's your 3 major macronutrients. So why is it so important? Because it helps to create cholesterol and a sheath or tissue that covers our vital organs, such as our heart, liver, gallbladder, pancreas, and of course our brain. And as I said before, it's 60% that makes up the brain. So it's very, very important. So good fats versus bad fats. So good fats. So they are very important. So what are good fats? I hear you all ask. Have you ever heard of cold pressed oil before? I'm sure you have. Cold pressed oil refers to how the oil is extracted from the food. Have you seen cold pressed olive oil labels before? I know I have. That means that the oil has been extracted from the olive via pressure. So they basically squeeze the olive to the point where the oil comes out. Okay. So that's how they get the oil out of the olive. They press it out, and that's what cold press means. So this method of extraction maintains the constitution of the oil and produces good fats for your brain and your nervous system. The problem is that it takes a lot of olives to extract the oil. So you don't get much oil out of a ton of olives, meaning you get very little oil from the olives, hence why olive oil is so expensive. Does that make sense? So it takes a lot of product to get very little oil out of it. So that's why it costs so much. Bad fats. So I just talked about a good fat. Let's talk about bad fats. So a lot of oil can be extracted from the canola plant seed. So have you ever heard of canola oil? Well, that's where it comes from. It comes from the seed, therefore making it very cheap to buy. So in other words, they can, from only a little bit of the canola plant seed, they can get a great deal of oil coming from that seed. But the problem is, it's the method of extraction that is the problem. Because when they extract it, they reconstitute the oil structure. Now, how many people here are using canola oil? I bet you a lot. And that's because it's so cheap. It is very, very cheap. Okay, so the food industry heats the canola seed up to extract the oil. This heating method reconstitutes the oil, and when you reheat or cook with the oil, the heat converts into the oil into a trans fat. So they are technically right when they say that canola oil is not a trans fat. That's because in its state that it's in, when you buy it, it is not a trans fat. But once you heat it up, once you put it in your fry pan, once you put it in your deep fryer, and you heat it up, that converts the oil into a trans fat. And this is the problem. This is why the food industry gets away with selling you this trans fat. Now, the other thing that they don't tell you about is that canola oil was actually used as sewing machine oil initially. So
Yeah.
before it was edible, it was used as sewing machine oil. And then someone had a brain explosion and said, we can sell this to the public as an edible oil. Fantastic. So I don't know if you know much about trans fats. So you got your monosaturated fats and your saturated fats, and then you got your trans fats. So monosaturated and your saturated fats are what are in olive oil. So that's why they're very good for your brain. Now, saturated fat has been given a bad rap. It's been stated that it causes a lot of obesity and the likes. This is not true. They're finding out now that it's because the saturated fats are turning into these trans fats. That's the problem. So when it's in its natural state, like I said, the seed is in the seeded oil is in its natural state. When they extract it, I should say, it is a saturated fat. But the problem is when you heat it up, it turns into what? A trans fat. And that's the issue. So, and I don't have to explain too much, but I mean, trans fats are obviously no good for your brain or your nervous system. And all the research now is proving that it is linked to cancer causation. Okay. So, does anyone have any questions?
Yeah, hit us with them.
Oh, Roger. Okay. Roger. Yeah, he said that. Yeah, there is. Yeah, there are a lot of Chinese people. Yeah, you told me last week about this. Yes, I did, Roger. I did tell you about this last week, and he said that he is a chemistry teacher.
Ah.
But do you have any questions, guys? Does anyone have any questions about that? No, it doesn't look like it.
We got any takers for those chocky bars? Out of comment.
Doesn't look like it.
You're running out of time.
That's it. $67. Why would you say no? I can't have oil now. You can have oil, Roger. Just stick to olive oil, brother. Macadamia oil. Yeah, don't eat any of the seeded oils. The seeded oils is the one that they have to heat it up. The problem is, Roger, they have to heat it up to extract the oil out of the seed. So when I say seeded, it's grapeseed oils, any of the
Corn
peanut oil. What's that?
Corn oil.
Yeah, corn oil. Anything that they have to heat up to extract the oil out of the plant or the seed, then that's where it all becomes murky, and they don't tell us about that. That's the problem. So yeah, but olive oil is fine. Macadamia oil is fine. Coconut oil is fine. I personally use macadamia oil just because it tastes nice. But it's expensive. So see what I'm saying? If you're, and this is the problem is with the restaurants that use oil today, they mainly use canola oil, and the reason being is because you think about it, if you get a 20-liter barrel of olive oil, and it costs $300, and then you buy a 20-liter barrel of canola oil, and then it's only $100, which one are you going to buy? Well, from a business point of view, of course you're going to buy the canola oil. But they don't know. They don't know that no one's been told that no one's told them that you're basically serving up a trans fat. But that's not their fault. That's the industry. That's the food industry for you. All right. Looks like there's no other questions.
All right. Let's tell them what's coming up.
Yes, we will. All right. So we've got the 10-week detox challenge. If you're interested in that, we're helping to change your mindset, teaching you what you will not find in the textbook, what I just talked about. Look at yourself in the mirror in awe, and helping you for life with an abundance of energy, so you can do the things you thought you could only dream to do. Is that what you want? Now, we got this awesome event coming up. So we've got an Eventbrite link for it. So you want to talk about it, Nicole?
Yeah, on the 8th of October, Dr. Scott, Amy Livingston, and myself are going to be doing an event at the Seabull in Margate, Brisbane, called Calm Minds, Bright Futures, Essential Anxiety Management Skills. So if you or any of your participants are tired of the generic solutions to anxiety, then you need to come along to this. This event is for anyone suffering anxiety, for NDIS participants, carers, support workers, plan managers, support coordinators, anyone in the NDIS space, and anyone experiencing anxiety should come along to this. It's a half-day event, and you're going to take away some gold from this event. Between the three of us and our combined knowledges, it's going to be absolutely awesome. So it's on Eventbrite. Dr. Scott will put the link in the comments, and come along Tuesday the 8th of October.
So you can see on Facebook especially, you can see that we've given the Eventbrite link. Just click on that. It's $10 to go. So hope to see you there. It should be great. Let's kick this anxiety to the curb, because we found out that the searches for anxiety on Google had risen 1,300%, especially in the NDI space. So that's why we're doing this. We want to help as many people in that community kick this affliction to the curb. So let's go to the wheel, and we're going to spin the wheel. Just hold on a sec. I'll just make sure. And the winner is... Can you see that?
Yep.
I'll just add it. Just got to add.
Drum roll.
I just got to find it first. I've got the wrong screen. There we go. Got it. There we go. Can you see that?
Yes, you can.
Let's spin the wheel. Number 2, and that's number 2. Okay. All right, and that goes to Roger Bust. All right, Roger.
Awesome. Congratulations, Roger. Woo!
Thanks, Roger. And yeah, we'll go back to the screen. So thank you so much, guys, for joining us tonight. Well done, Roger. You get to get that $60 worth of Chocky bars. So appreciate it, brother, for coming on and
3.5%
supporting us.
carbs. Can't go wrong.
Exactly. I don't know what. Yeah, it's a no-brainer for me. So thank you very much, guys. So I'm Dr. Scott from Sixth Sense Acupuncture and the Healthy Habits Club. And thank you so much, Nicole. So yeah, send us out with some lovely messages.
Yeah, absolutely. And don't forget to book in for that Eventbrite event in Margate on the 8th of October, kicking anxiety to the curb.
Yeah, that's right. It's horrible. It's what the people are going through. We want to help as many people as possible, and yeah, I hope to see you there. It should be a great event. Actually, give us a little rundown. What are you going to talk about, Nicole?
Yeah, I'm going to talk about what anxiety does to the brain, and I'm going to be talking about hypnotherapy and how that can be used as an anxiety relief tool. I'm also going to have a guest presenter coming for my section of the talk, and we're going to be talking about the Euphoria Focus Band. So that's actually a band you can wear on your head like it's a mobile neurofeedback device. You can see your brain waves on a screen, on like an app screen, and actually show you how you can change your brain. It is a powerful tool to help people actually see that they can change their brain waves, they can reduce their anxiety, they can increase their concentration and focus. So, there's so many things, so many ways that you can use this tool. So that's pretty exciting. And yeah, I'll be talking what I love talking about best, brains.
And we're going to have Amy as well, Amy Livingston, and she's going to be helping as well on how to kick this anxiety epidemic to the curb. And she'll be giving you tools as well on what to do. And of course, I will be as well. I'll be talking about EFT, emotional freedom technique. So I'm going to teach you a couple of, it's tapping. So I teach you how to tap certain points on your body that'll help calm this anxiety down in your body and in your mind. So, okay, thanks very much, Nicole. Much appreciated, guys. You all have a great night.
Thanks for joining us.
Thanks, guys.
Bye for now.